Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings. Say hello to the Tin's Rabbit.
Hello.
Today, I'm not talking about books, I'm talking about another job that the flaming author's got to do. Because authors are good at what we do, simply because we have to sit in darkened little rooms like this and imagine ourselves in other people's minds and do work that way. And so what does the publishing industry do to us? It asks us once a year to go in front of 200 or 300 people we've never met before, shake hands with them, chat with them as though we can remember who on earth they are, and give talks. It is a very precise form of torture for most people, because the one thing that we want to do is sit on our own and imagine ourselves somewhere else, not to go somewhere else and actually have to meet with you. That's weird. But there are some clues. If you're writing and if you have to get used to the idea of public speaking, it's very difficult when you first start out. I was lucky, I used to be a salesman, so I was used to making presentations in front of groups of people. But most people haven't had that sort of experience. If you can, it is worthwhile getting used to it before you actually have to do it professionally. Go and join an amateur dramatic society perhaps, or just go and offer yourself to give talks on subjects that you know about. It can be worthwhile just to get the experience of standing up in front of a group, because it is very good fun generally actually. But if you're an author, it gets very difficult, because the first thing you'll be asked to do is do a readings. I set up a performance group of authors some years ago called Medieval Murderers, which was very successful because Bernard Knight, Ian Mawson, Susanna Gregory, I, Philip Gooden, Karen Maitland and various others met up at different gigs, and we all agreed that the one thing we really hated was giving readings, so we set up Medieval Murderers specifically to avoid giving readings. We would all sit and chat about the process of writing, we'd tell funny anecdotes, we'd make the audience laugh, they'd pay us and we'd go home happy. It was a nice straightforward concept. Unfortunately Medieval Murderers, after 15 years, we're still going, but Bernard Knight can't come out so much because he's more or less given up on reading and giving readings and doing writing now. Other people, Ian Mawson for example, lives a bit too far away. It got quite difficult when he emigrated to Cyprus, and he's back on the mainland now, thank goodness, but it's still not so easy getting together. So I am having to go out and give readings again. Now, the best bit of advice I was ever given came from Val McDermid donkeys years ago when we were sitting in a bar in London, and she said that the first part of any book she writes is the part that she's going to write specifically to give readings on. So she will actually designate a part of the book as being the bit that she will read out live in front of an audience. I thought that was a fascinating bit of advice and very, very good. So I've lived with that ever since. I can recommend that you do too if you want to get into this business. The other thing is, don't forget to be interesting. I once went to an event where an author was giving a talk, and it was the most desperately dull evening of my life, apart from Schnitger's second cello concerto, I think it was, which was appalling. But this author's talk was dreadful. He was dull, he was boring, and then at the end of this long talk he said that what he had just told us was all made up and none of it was true. So having told us a miserable story about his life and how dreadful it was, he then told us that was a complete lie, but that was the pleasure of being an author, was you could make things up. And I thought, actually, as a paying member of the audience, you have not excited me or enlightened me in any way at all. So I decided then that the first rule of being an author and going out and giving talks and doing events is to make sure that you've got some funny anecdotes up your sleeve so that you can make the audience laugh. Because if people are coming out to watch you, they actually want to be entertained. And they may be interested in your books more than anything else, but more than anything, they will want to be entertained. So if you've got funny stories about your life, about your books, about writing, about publishing, anything like that, use them rather than going with something that is going to be slow and more tedious and difficult. So there you go. When you get up on the stage, you see the audience, smile at them, look at the people. Before you go on any audience stage, if you're giving a talk, make sure you've almost completely memorised that talk. Make sure you can remember the flow of it, the words you're using. Make sure that it fits in with your own language and style. Don't try to write in a hugely literary manner because you're an author. Write it to suit you and how you speak, because otherwise you will lose your thread. And basically, when you go to do events, enjoy them. I've got a group of American students next week, which I'm talking to at Exeter Cathedral. Then I've got the Tiverton Festival, which I'm giving a talk to. I've got the Sidmouth Festival I'm giving a talk to. I've got to go to the Evesham Literary Festival, I'm giving a talk there. And that's just in the next couple of weeks. It is going to be busy, but it's going to be fun. And when you go and give talks, they should be fun. Make sure you enjoy them. The only one I regret is I haven't dared copy Dave Allen yet and sit on a stool with a glass of whiskey or gin and tonic beside me, because I don't think most literary festivals will refill the glass for me, which is sad. But I live in hope. Maybe one day soon. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to share it and comment and hit the like button and subscribe and you know the stuff. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Take care.